Yeah, yeah, so, so right now, we rep that microphone. Yes. Ready? Ready? You mentioned the song where you don't get blown by my mere vocal tone. Swore shown the competitors, my thought patterns are regular. Out of the world like the predator, wide range like a cellular. Protect the history, travel with me. Years 193 AD, scores of us. By Septimius Severus. No dozing, organizer, man, hunter, Romans raised and chosen a rule. All jewels, silver spoons, and all that. First to combat, make contact, and onset. Lethal attack, bring the realness back. Turning back to slaves, we all brains on the stage, ready to engage with death. What's left of my worldwide conquest? Nevertheless, we the best in the Lord's favor, chosen to navigate the verbal. I will bomb you like Vader. This shit sweet like syrup, black ruler Europe. They clear the lies up before time's up. History stuck in hidden pages, contagious, uncontrollable races can leave you like hospital patients. Check the books and save your dirty looks. Historical crooks get took. Now lanes are out blaspheming King James. Bring it back to the facts. So just yapping, trying to be subject to a wild wolf pack that play dirty like Cactus Jack. Israel wax and back and kick. Reason why we live in so devilish and heathen mystic and Helen is the world's best known derelicts. I acquire biblical terrorists, I understand me. That's why they're up on the right, killing the crowd. So we go running to the that's why they're up on the right, we killing the crowd. Stone Globe traveling, fabric of time, yeah, I'm traveling. Full two dimensional port hopes I'm battling. Vortex shifts around, checks and rattles it. Death in the edges of crisis, what's happening? Dark horses, contortions, distortions, forces, vision of bomb blasting courses, forges, brought to naught, sources, flames from the heavenly torches, scorch it, when the tally is all scripted, writ with the finger of God that don't shift this, carries clouds of darkness. Whirlwinds, dominant, host bring the dominant, the sword or piranha fish, guillotine swings of flesh, easy diseases, hang up high on trees, a heart attack, sieges, like a dog, big squads, caution for legions, like a Christopher Reeves, speak freeze and legions, leave seeds to bleed and grieve these, we leave it up, we Israel, tip scale, heavyweights, overhand, right to the chops of all hate, swallow up on the right, killing the crowd. So we go running to the Christmas war, time to swallow up on the right, we killing the crowd. Stone bombs for the God.
We're going to run it down a line for my people. That's how we doing it here. All praise to the Most High, while Yahweh Shai. It's your brother. IQAhmath, IQAhmath, first name, IQ is all the same. Shalom to the family in the house. DSTM. I believe this is episode 256. Things is moving so fast, man. I'm having trouble keeping up. So if I'm wrong, somebody make sure you let me know. But we're trying to make it happen, man. We're trying to make it happen. Hopefully everybody's doing well, man. Ashar Shabbat to everybody in the house, man. That is a happy Sabbath to everybody that's in the house, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai. The family's in the house, man. Let me salute my brethren and my sister. The house of Byron in the house, as usual. Shalom to the family, man. Shalom to y'all. Brother Ron, shalom to you. Kohath, there you go. He's in the house. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Uriah in the house. Shalom to you, sis. UZL in the house in the Pacific Northwest family. Shalom to y'all. Shalak in the house. Shalom, shalom, shalom. My brother Azadad in the house. Shalom. The Quab in the house. Shabbat shalom to you and the family. The house of Elkanah. Shalom to you and the whole house. All praises. There go my sister out there, Rosemarie. Across the waters, tapping in. All praises. And anybody else that's going to be joining in at the later time, date, and whatever it may be, come on in. Shalom to y'all. All right. Let me turn off this banner. We don't need no more distractions, right? As y'all can see, it is time for my reaction to the global phenomenon, the streaming sensation that everybody's talking about, Leave the World Behind. Um, I'm sure y'all have got your own, came to your own conclusions. If you have not seen the movie, there's going to be spoiler alerts here, so you might want to either tune out or hear my reaction and then go back and compare and contrast to your own. I'm sure you've seen other people's reactions. I haven't watched any. I think I saw a little bit of one cat man that did one, but I think I maybe watched about 10 minutes of it. But I wanted to come to my own resolution and understanding, through the spirit, and let the spirit administer to me as what was being revealed in this phenomenal movie. Um, so if you have not seen it, again, there will be spoiler alerts here. Okay. But I'd be shocked if you haven't seen it yet, man. This thing is viral. Everybody and their mama's talking about it. If you're quote unquote woke, you know what I'm saying? If you're in the truth and you've not seen it yet, shame on you. You need to go ahead on and check it out. And you might be saying, man, IQ, you putting a whole lot on it, man. I watched it, man. I didn't see all of it. Okay, well, just stand by, and let's see if you really analyze it and look with discerning eyes. Because that's what we're being called to do. Um, Let me make sure that we get everything lined up here, and we're going to get started. Not only am I going to give my reaction to the movie, but also I want to make sure that we still get it in and cover some of the current events that's going on in the earth, man. Things don't stop. Buckle your seatbelts, y'all, because it's going to be an interesting ride today. I'm gonna try to, go through this information and my reactions, and then try to still do a good job of, you know, being vigilant with these current events that's happening in the earth. Because, and I might, put a different little twist on my reaction, because I'm going to add some things to the pot that, maybe some don't consider, hadn't seen yet, or whatever the case may be. But, we're going to see how it all plays out through the spirit of the Most High, White House side. Um, let's look at let me open up this. Let me get my let me share my screen. If you haven't wiped your feet yet, when you came on in here, man, you know what time it is. Do an about face. Get out, walk a shame, right? Get on out, come back, wipe your feet, and then come on back in here, man. Your plate is still at the table. Don't worry. Nobody's gonna eat off your plate. All right. Your plate's still ready. It's still there. But you have to get out. And I'm not talking about, the movie. Show some love. All right. Hit the like button. You can even dislike it. I don't care. The algorithm doesn't care. The algorithm just says, oh, there's activity over there. Oh, they're liking and disliking. There's a reason for us to continually notify more people to have them go and check the content. Let's make sure that this video is actually visible. I mean, they do a hard, they do your brother real dirty when it comes down to making a content over here visible. So we got to fight back, man. Fight the power, as PE would say. public enemy, that is. All right, fight the power. So check this out. Hebrews 4 and 12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword. That's how powerful the scriptures are, man. The scriptures cut both ways. It cuts and it heals. And you say, how can it cut and heal? Well, what does a surgeon do? When you have to have a surgery done, they have to cut you in order to bring healing, right? That's the same way that the Bible works. It's quick, it's powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword. Why do you think every time you see brothers that's out on the streets, and that's why the street teaching is just is so viral? It goes, people enjoy watching that more than actual sit-down lessons that are built towards building up your spirit, built towards us maintaining and understanding what it is to fear the Most High, keep the commandments, being better men and women of the Lord, getting certain breakdowns of understanding. Those things kind of get pushed to the side sometimes, and a lot of Israelite content, man. Everybody wants to see everybody out there on the streets, man, going head to head with the heathen, going head to head with the Christians, going head to head with the Muslims. And that's all good. That's all good. However, you got to get a little balance in your life. Got to get a little balance in your life. Um, when we're out on the streets, it's only the Bible. We're only using the Bible. There's no guns to anybody's heads. There's no literal swords that's out, that's being swung. But why do people get so affected? Why do they become so emotionally distraught when they hear the word of the Most High and they getting cut and they running and they tucking their tails, or they want to fight, or they want to get them more aggressive and they want to get loud? It's because the Most High's word is quick, powerful, and it's sharper than a two-edged sword, and they get cut. Why? Piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit. When somebody's get cut to the heart, cut in the spirit, that's the word of the Most High resonating within them, exorcising spirits and demons about them, right? And it says, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents in the heart. So when I said, people might be saying, oh, IQ, you putting a whole lot on that movie, man. I didn't see everything you talking about, man. I don't know. Everybody always trying to make something out of nothing. Oh, well, you've got to be able to utilize the word of the Most High to discern even the things that's of the flesh and other. There's always messages that's being said, man. There's truth in everything. That's why Yahweh said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You cannot have truth without a quote lie, right? So there's truth in everything. We just got to find it. We just got to find it, right? So before we begin, let me get Psalms, Psalm 64. Let's start at Psalm 64. We're gonna start at verse. Let's start at verse 5. Now it's talking about the wicked, right? And you know, and I know who the wicked is. Now it says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? So when we're talking about things like systematic racism, when we're talking about last hired, first fired, when we're talking about building communities and gentrification, and we're talking about miseducation and lies through history, when we're talking about chemical and biological warfare that they've enacted upon our people, the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, this all came through laying snares privately, broken covenants and peace treaties, right? They encourage themselves in evil matters, man. There's white folks always want to talk about it wasn't me. I wasn't there. My ancestors didn't do it, right? But they have no problem, embracing and living through white privilege. You know what they call that in the world of crime, or the world of a law? Aiding and abetting a criminal. It's when you let's see if we can find out what is exactly aiding and abetting. Let's see. Aiding and abetting is a crime itself, held against those who would somehow assist the criminal, short of physically contributing to the illegal act. So if you're not going to call, let's look right here. The legal term aiding and abetting refers to a person's action to help support, hello, or approve of someone else's illegal act. See, they may say, "Oh, I don't approve of it." Are you doing anything to stop supporting it with white privilege? No. How are you showing your disapproval of it? What are you doing to actually stand up and enact rebellion against it? No, you're not doing anything. You still get the favor when it comes down to bank loans. Um, I mean, it's so crazy now, man. White folks can go anywhere, and it's part of it is our own problem. With our own cursings. I see sometimes you see these little traveling videos of these Edomites, man, and they talking about we're going to the most dangerous hoods in South Africa, dangerous hoods in Belize, dangerous in you know Dominican Republic. A lone Edomite, man, with his camera, and he's walking through in the same areas that uh we wouldn't be able to go through without having somebody approach, try to rob, steal, beat up, rape. They walk through and oh yeah, yeah, tourists, hey, come on, guys, we're gonna take good care of you. See, that's the complexion for the connection, man. People are still fearful of that white skin, that red skin, I should say, and they know it. Who's gonna touch me? White girl goes missing, man. All hell breaks loose. They send in the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. Black girls are going missing every day in states like Ohio, and nobody blinks an eye. If anybody is to say or to think that there isn't a such thing as quote unquote white privilege, I mean, look in the mirror. Look how America's ran. Look at the political system, the religious system, banking system. The so-called white man runs the world, man. And for those that say it wasn't me, I didn't do it, you can't blame. You were aiding and abetting. You're just as guilty because you have not done anything to stop receiving the benefits of your forefathers' slavery, robbery, kidnap, rape, stolen lands, right? You know, the uh, uh I just covered it. I don't know why I keep forgetting about it. Uh it's called the something six. Uh Slucky, I just will not rest until I remember. It's something the six. The six. Oh man, what was the name? It's gonna come to me. As soon as I find it. Give me 1 second, y'all. What did I? They ain't calling it in here. I'm a find. I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me. 60 scoop. Good lord, I had to get the answer. It's been bugging me. I just could not recall. I'm trying to retain too much information, and that one just completely went out the back door and was refusing to find its way home. The 60 scoop. I damn near forgot why I brought that up. But the reason why I brought that up is because when we're talking about aiding and abetting. If y'all remember, I did DSTM a couple months ago. Well, not even a couple months ago. It was early in November. The 60 scoop, right? And was talking about regarding indigenous children that were separated from their households, forcibly put into adoption, the adoption system, and being adopted by white people. And the purpose was for them to be disinherited from their heritage, language, culture, the whole nine, right? Do you think that these white people that adopted these indigenous children felt any guilt towards them being able to get first dibs on the poor little Indian boys and girls? Huh? No. White privilege says we're first in line, we're getting them, we're going to change their whole life around. We're changing their names, we're cutting their hair. They can forget about any cultural aspects that they thought that they used to know or not know. That's why the scriptures say, man, thy children and thy sons and daughters shall be given into another people, and there'll be no might in thy hand. That was a curse. But that's also called aiding and abetting, because essentially these kids were kidnapped and taken out of their homes and put into adoption agencies, and what the white folks, white families in America and Canada sitting back waiting to grab them. But the same ones you see on the streets, look, I'm helping them. It wasn't me. I didn't enslave them. No, but you've taken them and you've destroyed their lives. That's why they try to come up with a proposed $8 billion settlement or something like that. I don't even think they got paid yet. And really, when you break it down, it was only 50. It was broke down to like $50,000 per person, or who got affected by it. And once that's taxed and inflation and everything else is going on in the earth, that ain't nothing. See, aiding and abetting is a crime itself, held against those who would somehow assist a criminal. Somehow, didn't say specifically, but in any shape or form that you assist in a criminal act, that you support it, that you don't outright show your disapproval of it and separate yourself from it, you are just as guilty. Short of physically contributing to the illegal act. It said if you do anything that even looks like you're assisting, short of actually being there and doing it, you're guilty. In many jurisdictions, aiding and abetting is the same as an accessory. Oh, excuse me. To the crime. To explore the concept, consider the following aiding and abetting definition. Just wanted to make sure that that was understood. Getting back here to the initial scripture. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune on of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? See, the white man doesn't feel as though he's going to be judged. He doesn't feel as though he's doing anything wrong. He's just living manifest destiny. He's just accomplished what was known as the doctrine of discovery. He's just living his best life, in other words. And who's going to see him? They don't believe in the Most High, not to the point to where they're going to worship and honor him. Yahweh, they're not going to do that. They're saying, what's the Most High that we should serve him? If we got money, we've got power, influence, control. Why should we serve your power? I am God. Look at verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and heart is deep. See, the so-called white man, he thinks deeply on being a quote-unquote master of the universe. Remember that old show, man? He-Man? I'm dating myself. That's from the 80s. Was it 80s? Yeah, 80s. Mid to late 80s. He-Man. I think they made a couple little spoof movies after that. Masters of the Universe. That's his mind frame. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them. Oh, no, there's some good white folks. That man, hey, Tommy and Sarah, they're cool. Every one of them. And the heart is deep. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. See, that's what we're seeing in this movie. The Most High has released the arrows. He's released the judgments. And we're seeing it playing out in real time. Suddenly they shall be wounded. Verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves. So what are they going to do? They're going to start telling on themselves. They're going to start openly confessing things that you will say, well, damn, they're actually telling the truth. Why? See, what's known as, quote, white guilt. See, even when we talk about white privilege, man, the fact that we got to label it after their, quote, unquote, race or color, we don't call them white, they're red. right? They're the nation of the red people. They even threw that lie out there saying that that was the Indian, the Native Americans, the red man over there. No, he is the red, the man whose blood shows forth through his skin, right? Uh, Now we're seeing to the point to where you even have to see what they call or label white trash. Why is there such thing as black trash, Hispanic trash? And no, that means those are the lost and the forgotten, the downtrodden of the so-called white folk that was left behind, so that they can say, "Hey, all of us aren't rich. All of us ain't rich. All of us haven't made it. All of us ain't privileged." Those are the casualties of war, so that they can sit back and say, "Look, well, you can't say everybody." Yeah, so the M&Ms and all of them that grew up in the trailer parks in the Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia and the deep south of Alabama and Kentucky, the good old boys with missing teeth and rednecks. Yeah, now they get you got the why would you even classify them as white trash? Meaning, oh, that's the trash of the whites. What the rest of them is all good. That in itself shows you white privilege. It says, so they make their tongues fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So people are going to start wanting to get away from so-called white men, right? But in this movie, this is the reason why, is because their tongue is going to fall on themselves. They're going to talk about truth. They're going to show forth things that probably wasn't you know, considered before. So that you see it play out in a lot of different movies, and you pick things up. This is just the latest of all of them, right? So let's get to it. Let me give you my little 2 cents on it, right? Let's get to it. So, of course, everybody by now should know that the Obamas are the ones who help fund and produce this movie. They've got a deal with Netflix for a production deal, and this is the second film I believe that they made. The first one they did was a documentary that got some awards, and now here they are behind this one. Now it's not just the money that the money and the resources that Obama and Michelle Obama and Barack Obama helped to supply for this. Um, Barack Obama was a key contributor to this movie, right? Now, notice here it says Obama faces backlash for films warning about white people. Now, I don't know what Obama's up to, you know, but the fact that he actually even is standing on putting out this content of a movie, and he was consulted and contributed a lot of notes about the characters and all of that, shows you that it's coming from a place that obviously the Most High done made him put some of these things down, because Obama, to my knowledge, was a civil rights attorney. So obviously, he's connected with the disenfranchisement of our people, right? Plus, he's an insider within the realms of politics and government. I'm not saying Obama's a good guy. Obama's a coon, and who knows if if he's even, you know, he, he could be a Hamite. I've seen evidence that he's a Jake. That he, the Kenyan father is his adopted father. The real father's a Jake. That basically laid with his mama, and laid with the white woman, and took off. Who knows? It ain't about him at this point. It's about the message, right? So, but peep how ridiculous this article is regarding, and you got to wonder, did they even watch the movie? According to Vanity Fair, while writing the script, Ishmael consulted Obama, hoping that his perspective would ground the story and make it more realistic. So Obama was key in putting forth this information. Remember, Obama's an insider. He's seen the ins and outs, dirty little secrets of the so-called white man within the politics. He's contributed to it. Now he's writing out and confessing his inward thoughts regarding what he's experienced. right? Ishmael added that because this is based after a book, but Obama made it come to life. And the book came out, I think, in 2020. Ishmael added that Obama thought the script was fairly close to how a crisis would actually pan out in the real world. He had a lot of notes about the characters and the empathy we would have for them. He had a lot of notes. Okay. Ishmael told the magazine, I have to say, he is a big movie lover, and he wasn't just giving notes about things that were from his background. He was giving notes as a fan of the book. He wanted to see a really good film. Now, look at this. The scene in question shows a black couple lying in bed as the lines. I'm asking you to remember that if the world falls apart, trust should not be doled out easily to anyone, especially white people. What do we see wrong in just that this part of the article alone? Did they watch the movie? They said that in that scene there was a black couple lying in the bed. That was a father and a daughter. That was not a couple. They were not romantically involved. And now you're trying to incite that this was some sort of incest. Did they watch the movie? A black couple is lying in the bed. What? That shows you that this article was based on propaganda that they wanted to try to discourage anybody from watching it because it's another one of them woke films hating white people. They couldn't even watch it. Talking about a black couple was lying in the bed. They weren't a couple. And what's wrong with what they just said? I'm asking you to remember that if the world falls apart, trust should not be doled out easily to anyone, especially white people. Well, y'all already know. Your precept should already be popping in your head when you heard that line in the movie. Which one? We know. Sirach 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for as iron, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. That's from the scriptures. Never trust thine enemy. And you say, well, how come the white man's an enemy? Well, look, do we have to go over all of the curses? No. Deuteronomy 28:48 says that we got to go to our enemies in one of all things. Deuteronomy 28:68 says we're going to be sold unto our enemies. Our enemies was already completely defined. It just all is all circumstantial upon who did what to us based upon these curses. So we have enemies in the land. We have enemies that's been part of our captivity. The Lord said, don't trust them. Now we're seeing in the film, she's saying the same thing. Continuing on, it says Netflix film called Leave the World Behind, produced by the Obamas, includes a scene demonizing white people. Was the whole movie about demonizing white people? See, this is how you see you gotta watch and look for the propaganda already off the BS. Includes a scene demonizing white people. White people are the only group you're allowed and celebrated to be racist towards, and it will be put into movies by the most influential people. Libs of TikTok wrote on X. I guess there was no problem with the white woman automatically stereotyping when she seen the brother and his daughter come to the door and saying it's their home. She already said, "This is your home." What? I'm confused. Oh, I guess that's not racist, huh? That there wasn't. We're gonna skip past that. Oh, okay. See, that's Esau wanting to control the narrative as usual. The movie is predicated on the title in itself. Leave the world behind is obviously a biblical principle. What do we know? What do you know? First John 2, verse 15 and 16. It says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Hint, hint, leave the world behind. So-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. This world has nothing for you that you should desire above the Most High, Yahweh Shai, the laws and the commandments. The Lord said you can't love two masters because he's going to love the one and hate the other. I mean, no man can serve two masters because he's going to love the one and hate the other. So the scriptures say, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, all of these principles we've seen in the movie. The lust of the flesh. The little Edomite kid, all he wanted to do was worried about his girlfriend and that was he was separated from. He's lusting after the sister, privately taking a picture for him. Doing what he was, attempting to do in the bed. I'm trying to keep it clean. When he got in the room, got in the bed, all hell's breaking loose outside, man. Everything's collapsing over him. Only thing he can do is lust after the sister, looking on the phones and doing what he was doing until he came to his senses. Like, damn, what am I doing? I'm tripping. But see, even that's a whole spirit within itself. People are going to be so caught up in the flesh, man. They're not going to believe the things that's happening in the spirit. They're locked into the technology. They're locked into their own lust. They're locked into their own ways. What else did they see? Lust of the flesh, the house, immaculate house, the pool, the everything. What they want to talk about? Oh, this is a really nice house. Oh, this is lovely. Where do you live? Outside of here. Oh, I got another. The brother saying, yeah, we got another house on Park Avenue. Where do you guys live? You know, she was based upon gain, lust of the eyes, everything you see, you want to acquire. And the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. So these are all principles that we're being forewarned that we have to separate from when it comes down to the judgment of the Most High and things that's going to be occurring, in the earth. Because when it hits, it's going to be bad. So the Most High is letting us know we have to be able to leave off of all of those things because it's all going to be taken away from us one way or the other. So prepare now to die to the world. Prepare now to leave that world behind because it's not going to be the same world that you expect to see after all this hell and turmoil goes down and the salvation is based upon the children of Israel, man. Them chariots come and the deliverance of the elect. The world as we knew it, that is not going to exist no more. So leave it now, right? Micah 2:10 says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. So we see all of those things happening right now. Let's continue on. Let's continue on. So going back, right? So first we see propaganda, we see some BS come out here. Scrutinizing Obama. They talking about, oh, it was a couple lying in the bed, and they talking about don't trust white people, right? They haven't given us a lot of reason to trust them, but that's racist to say. Oh, I guess we're supposed to trust you with Tuskegee. Was that good? We're supposed to trust the blankets with the smallpox. We're supposed to trust what happened with the whole C-19 issue the last couple of years. I mean, who was at the helm of that? Y'all know. You seen the faces. You seen the names. Are we supposed to trust that? Huh? Ronald Reagan himself said the what did he say? He said the 9 most terrifying words that he's ever heard was I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Go look it up on YouTube. The 9 most terrifying words you can hear is I'm from the government and I'm here to help. I mean, who runs the government? It's not rocket science, man. As they try to sit back and constantly frame these ideologies of if you say anything against a white person, man, you got to be racist. Yes, we're the only people that get victimized that you can get away with it. What? We live it in real life, not on some film screen because somebody said, "Oh, don't trust a white person." You got no problem with Quentin Tarantino saying "nigga" in his movies 100 million times. White people saying it, the Django and all these other movies, man. Jackie Brown, he loves the word, man. Oh, but there's no problem with that, though. White that's the white privilege, man. They want to constantly be protected, and they don't want their evils to be exposed. I.e., the critical race theory um, curriculum that they're running from and don't want in the schools because it gives a more detailed approach and a more fairer approach when it comes down to exactly what they was up to when it came down to conquering this land, when it came down to enslavement, when it came down to different historical inaccuracies that was once taught in the schools. They want to get rid of that or don't even want it to be allowed. Let's move on. So I'm just going to try to do a little scene by scene. I'm not going to try to do the whole movie. There's no way. It's a damn near 2.5 hour movie, right? Remember when the white woman, man, she looked out the window and she was talking about she looking at the people and all that, and she says, uh, she sees everybody getting up, hustling and busting and all that, and she said, "Yeah, I like to see that, but it lets me know how much I effing hate people." No, what people is she talking about? Well, Psalms 25:19, David says, "Consider mine enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with a cruel hatred." See, when she said that, she's confessing and speaking for them as a whole. The self-absorbed obsession with the so-called white man and his own, people. Remember when they was in the barn, as much as the brother and his daughter Ruth did for them, bringing them in 2 times, allowed them in their homes, right? At the same time, the brother was out trying to go risking his damn life to go save the little white boy with his teeth falling out. She's arguing with the daughter in the barn, talking about, I just want to get the F away from you and get the F out of here and figure out what the F is going on. And that's when the girl was like, "What? Stop yelling at me. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?" The fact that she said all of that being done for her and she still said, "I want to get the F away from you," lets you know that there's no sincerity in them. Remember, not too long before that, she was already hugged up with the Jake talking about, "I'm beginning to like you." You cannot trust these people, man. Selfishly, she just wanted to get the hell. I want to get the hell away from you and blah 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 blah. She said it from the beginning. I hate people. You think she talking about everybody? You can if you want to. You can if you want to. I don't. She's speaking on behalf of Esau, and you know who the people are. Psalm 58:3 says, "The wicked are estranged from the womb; they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies." Remember what she said. Her whole. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But remember, she said that her job was to analyze people and to lie to them and to convince them to buy stuff that they didn't want to buy. And I don't know why we're like this and other. You know where we're going. Psalms 35:20 says, "For they speak not peace, but they devise deceitful matters against them that are quiet in the land." See, the Jake and his daughter, man, they was quiet in the land. They was trying to come back to their own home, negotiated a deal, gave them $1,000 to stay in their own damn house. See, and that's a whole nother thing regarding the curses and um, us being them. See, I'm jumping the gun. I'm jumping the gun. Let me slow down. Let me slow down. Right. For they speak not peace, they devise deceitful matters against them that are quiet in the land. What did they do when they came and crashed over to these shores, to the indigenous populations, man? False peace treaties, divide and conquer, buffalo soldiers, and got Jakes to hunt down their own. They don't speak peace. They devise in deceitful matters to them that are at peace, quiet in the land, man. We was over here, man, doing our own thing. Yeah, there was intertribal warfare. That just goes on. That was happening in the scriptures. However, we didn't need no outside influence. We didn't need nobody coming over here with smallpox and musket guns and swords and um, horses trampling down and burning up villages. And we didn't need none of that. Pillaging and raping. He added to the pot, man. So she, in the beginning scenes, kind of openly confessed what her character was going to stand for, who she was speaking for, and the characteristics that come out from her people. All right. Uh, you know, think let me see one more. Let's see, Ecclesiastes. I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna come. I think. Okay, so I know by now everybody even seen on the scene the ship, the tanker that crashed onto the beach, the White Lion. Everybody should know by now that that is a that was one of the first slave ships, man. The dock and hit 1619 in Virginia, Jamestown, Virginia. So symbolically, what we're talking about, long story short, is the beginning and what caused the judgment of America and the end and what's going to be the judgment of America. Notice the early scene began with what? 1619 slave ships. So we're talking about judgment is all surrounded around the children of Israel. We say it all the time. Everything, everyone, animals, everybody's waiting on the children of the Lord to wake up. The animals are tired. The animals are being put in captivity in zoos, wildlife safaris, being made to do tricks and trying to get tamed and being defanged and they their claws being taken out so they can perform in circuses. They're making sea lions bounce balls on their noses and all. I mean, animals is burnt out. And they looking at Jake saying, man, when is this going, when can we come to a head, man, so that y'all can take back over and we can be back at peace again? So this is all surrounding around us um, getting liberated. So the judgment began. We see the white lion crash on the shore. So that was symbolic of the slavery and the captivity of the children of Israel. How does the movie end? Oh, bombs. That's all about what we preach about in the scriptures. Judgment coming to America because of how they treated the children of Israel, because of the forwarding of the affliction of the children of Israel. Where do the children of Israel need to be delivered from? America and throughout the four corners of the earth. But primarily, we have a vast majority populace here in the Americas and in the other nations that we're held down in captivity. From London to West Africa, we're still over there. Four corners of the earth, man. Our people in the Netherlands, Germany, Italy. Our people is everywhere. We're going to be gathered from all said places. But the central hub where the great whore resides is going to be the one that's going to be judged most harshly. All right, so we know that the white lion, when you see the ship dock and you see the tag on the ship, you see it's the white lion symbolic, speaking about the captivity of the children of Israel. Right. Nobody else is making more about uh, slavery than the Israelites. We're the first one to bring out Deuteronomy 28:68 and talking about the slave ships. Then you got the naysayer. Oh, that happened already in Rome. Oh, that happened in no. Remember, the scripture said this is going to happen to all Israel. When did that? When were the 10 tribes in Rome and they got taken on cargo slave ships? Okay. Um, we're talking about the inception in the spirit of what was going to happen to the children of Israel. Now, this is a cold part because here you have the dynamic of the changing of the guard. The Jake and his daughter, they are the quote unquote rulers, really. When you're talking about who has the wealth, the prestige, who's got all the inside government connections, so forth and so on. I mean, in this instance, who would be the ruler and who wouldn't be? Who's the elite, the upper class, and who's not? Clearly, it was the Jake and his daughter and his household, his home. The white man had to call to rent his house, right? But what happened when they got there? Now let me get that one in Ecclesiastes, right? Ecclesiastes 10:7 says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. Well, who are the servants upon horses? Who's the ones that's riding upon the horses right now, being the overseers and overlords of the people? The so-called white man. Why is he called a servant? Because remember, the prophecy says that the elder shall serve the younger. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment. That's speaking on Esau. Esau is the elder. He will serve. That's prophecy, right? But he said they're now on top, and princes being who? The prince of power, Yasha Allah, Israel, the children of Israel, we're walking as servants on the earth right now. So once the Jake come knock on the door, and he's damn near got to convince, beg, and seduce them to prove that it's his house. He's got the keys. He pulls up, he knows the driveway. He's dressed pristinely. They know their way around the house. They asking, do you mind if I have some water? Hey, do you mind if I have a drink? Hey, don't worry about it. I'll sleep in the basement. Where else have we seen that same scenario play out? Isaiah 1:7 says, your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire, your land, strangers devour it in your presence. White man's living in this house like it's his. Who's living in the land like it's theirs? You see it right now fighting over there against the Palestinians. 1948, everybody now knows about the Balfour Declaration. We've been talking about the Balfour Declaration since I came in the truth. And that's damn near 29 years ago. Now all of a sudden everybody knows about Balfour Declaration. See, that's how the Most High when I was looking for that scripture, and I ended up finding it in the Feast of Dedication. But therefore the Most High has sent us the apostles last as it was appointed to death. We back clean up, man. We bring everything home, you know. But this symbolically is showing you, man, that we've been displaced. Father and the daughter come on. She like, damn, this is our house. I mean, damn, they how come we sleeping in the basement, in the guest room? Why are we asking for permission in their own house? Right? The sister's the only one who really like standing up to these damn heathen. The Jake, he's been rubbing elbows so long with the so-called white man. You see, and that just gave me another precept. Proverbs 12. He been rubbing elbows so long with the so-called white man that here he is, sitting out here making all kind of negotiations and settling for whatever he can get. Proverbs 12:26 says, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. So he's been rubbing elbows with these elite and rubbing elbows with these damn white folks so long that he's now been seducing and still taking a subservient position. He got to negotiate and tell them, man, I'll give you $1,000, man. If you just I'm not even asking y'all to leave. You can stay. I'll sleep in the bottom gallows master. No problem. You can have my bed. Master, you think I could make me a drink? See, that's unfortunate that they have to prove their identity. See, oh, black people, y'all ain't the Jews. Hispanics ain't no way you the people. You got to prove that. Remember, she said, well, can I see your ID? Can you prove who you are before you come back and take the land, before you take our home? He said, oh, I left my wallet at the theater. Oops. So now you can't prove it, man. You got to go back home. You got to go back to the gallows, the bottom of the house. Right. So we see that dynamic. Deuteronomy 28:43 says, the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Verse 44 says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And we see that dynamic play out right there in them scenes. They're now strangers in their own home. The strangers now gotten above them. They're in the pool, they walking around, they eating out the refrigerator, doing everything. All because of what? Yeah, Byron. The sister was the strongest in the movie. And yeah, see, that's what we seeing what's going on. Even in, we was looking at it last day of dedication again, and she got the 96 tattooed on her, right? But of course the tattoos was unlawful. But we just looked at it in the spirit saying, well, if you flip the 6 and a 9, that's second Ezra's. Second Ezra 6 and 9 says Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right? So if you look at yourself in the mirror, you notice those letters or those numbers will be reversed from the reflection. So second Ezra 6 and 9 lets us know this is all predicated upon the end of Esau. Right? So let's continue on. Now, people was all wondering what the 10 tribe, what was she saying? So I looked it up. They had it translated on Yahoo. And here we go. When she stopped, this how you know it also includes the 10 tribe in the northern kingdom. Now what she was saying, she says, thank God I found someone. I'm trying to get back to my home. Listen to that. I'm trying to get back to my home. Well, where's her home at? It ain't Mexico. Central America. Home is in the east, back in Israel. I'm lost. I'm trying to get back home. I'm lost. Oh, the lost 12 tribe. I'm lost. Well, guess what? Uh, Matthew 18 and 11 says what? For the Son of Man is come to save that which was lost. And we're known as the 12 lost tribes of Israel, right? The Son of Man is the king come to save that which was lost. She's still going to the white man for salvation. I'm lost. I want you to help me get back home. She wants Caesar Borgia. She's still thinking, a statue of Mary's gonna get her back home. No, her true salvation, who came for her, is that dark skinned man with white woolly hair, red eyes, powerful voice like the roaring waters that came to um, put his enemies back into subjection and to liberate the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. So she says, thank God I found someone. I'm trying to get back home. I'm lost. I've been walking for a while. I need to use your phone. You're the first person I've seen all day. We've got to get out of here. I just saw a plane that was spraying red gas in the vicinity. I saw some deer, more than 50. They were coming out of the woods. Please, I need to go home. Sir, a military plane appeared and fled. There's no one around. Is it a chemical attack? Those white man, first he want to pull over. Oh, feel bad for her. Let me see if I can help her. What ended up happening? The windows got rolled up, and he said, "Man, I can't do nothing for you. I'm out of here." Lamentations 4:17 says, "As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help." So next year's 2024 election, the Negroes and Hispanics running to the polls, thinking that the next white man is going to come out here and be a savior. It's not going to help you. Oh, go into your local community uh, voting polls and trying to get city council. And listen, man, it's vain help, because the only one who came to save that which was lost is Yahweh Shai. Ain't no politicians that were sent on that mission to come save us and deliver us and get us back into our rightful places, to bring us back home, to help us find ourselves. They ain't there. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help in our watching. We have watched for a nation that could not save it. America is not built upon saving anybody. America is built upon colonization, stealing, robbing, taking uh, through all means of wickedness and unrighteousness. So let's not think that that's what they came here for. So even the Northern Kingdom got displayed and showed. They're trying to get back home. They're lost, but they're going about it the wrong way, still thinking that the white man is going to be the one that's going to help save them. crossing the border, running on over here, thinking that they got salvation over here in the great land of the Babylon, the great whore, and ended up finding out, oh, you're sleeping on concrete slabs worse than you was back when you was back in El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, Colombia, Venezuela, any of these other countries, coming over from Haiti, um, Cuba, etc. Some of them sleeping on concrete slabs, being busted, migrated, thrown in cages, given aluminum foil blankets, children being separated from me, being sold off and transported into pedophile rings. Oh, you thought everything was gonna be great when you come over here, huh? Remember, Eric Gar? I mean, what's his name? Um, Eric Adams over there in New York, telling everybody, "Come on over. We got you." As soon as I come over here, oops, we're maxed out. Get out. California, Gruesome, Governor Gruesome, he over. Yeah, come on over. Sanctuary City, Chicago. As soon as I get over here, doing just like they did her, left her out there in the cold. Let's continue. You see the whiteboard, man. Teeth falling out, throwing up blood. What's that about? Psalms 58:6 says, "Break their teeth, O Yahweh, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Yahweh." See, this is the Most High's judgment coming down on Esau. Teeth falling out. They can say you hear the ringing in the ears. We talked about that with the Havana syndrome related to the microwave towers, i.e., 5G, so forth and so on. That's another chemical weapon. That's another silent weapon for quiet wars, which is one of the chapters in Behold a Pale Horse by Bill William Cooper. Silent weapons for quiet wars. That's another weapon that the so-called white man's got. That possibly could have been what they was experiencing in the movie. However, you know, I'm looking at it through the spirit that this is the Most High showing the inevitable collapse of America and the rule of Esau, because the Most High said that He's going to break the teeth of the wicked. If you read up in Psalms 58, it tell you that this is about the wicked. Verse 3 says, "The wicked are estranged from the womb, soon as they be born, speaking lies." See, so Psalm 58 talking about the wicked, and Most High said He's going to break their teeth out their mouth. The young lion. So of course he's the little kid, the teenage kid. Psalms 3:7 says, "Arise, O Yahweh, save me, O my power. For thou hast smitten all my enemies upon the cheekbone. Thou hast broken the teeth of the ungodly." So when we see those things, that this the Most High's judgment falling upon them, right? And they don't know why. It just started happening. And shortly after this went down, you see things become even more escalated after them teeth got knocked out. Now, look at her. Of course, the little white girl, she got the NASA shirt on. NASA's supposed to be, the eye that sees everything for the Most High. I mean, not for the Most High, for Esau. You know, when we reading in Isaiah 14, see, NASA is the intelligence arm of high and lows. They're in charge of the satellites. They're in charge of various forms of intelligence when it comes down to space and aeronautics and everything else, from time, date, astronomical phenomenon. See, that's the arm of him wanting to be like the Most High. And notice in the movie, she's the one who notices everything. She sees everything first. She sees the deer first. She sees the ship coming. She finds the bunker. What else? Something is in the car. She seen something in the car first. Here she is with the NASA shirt on. So Isaiah 14:13 says, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High." Well, there you have it with the satellites and everything else. He ain't go to no damn moon. He can't get past the Van Allen belt. If they did it back in the 60s when technology wasn't even close to what it is now, how come they haven't been able to go back there anymore? When they're supposed to be way more advanced than what they had going on back in the 60s. Every time you see what SpaceX and all these other little ships trying to get up there, always fails. And they learn, don't send nobody up there. I remember back in the 80s when I was in elementary school, uh that's that shuttle blew up and had astronauts in it. They was thinking they was finna get out there and it blew up. Any of y'all remember that? Shit, they ain't going up there. But they'll send out some robots, they'll send up some satellites that can only get certain heights of the firmament without being destroyed. But that's him. He said in his heart he's going to ascend into heaven. Where? The firmament, right? I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. So here she is, the one who sees everything. She got the NASA shirt on. But notice too, her favorite show is Friends. I've never seen an episode of Friends in my life. However, she's obsessed with the show. Now, from what I always heard about the show, is number one, there hardly any black people on that show. If it was, it might have been for an episode, some little character, but there was no main staples of black people in that show. So she loves a world and she loves a show that pretty much excludes black people. And it's the fact that she also was obsessed with the show because she has no friends. So she lives through the show. That's why she was talking about, Dad, when we get to New York, do you think that we can go to the coffee shop? And he was like, that's just theater, honey. That don't really exist. She really think they her friends. But if you remember, even later on down the line in the show with the Edomite prepper, he said, "Man, we got a lot of enemies. We don't know who's hitting us." So America don't have no real friends. America is just being used for what they can provide for everybody else. Don't nobody love America. Turkey came out and said, "Man, everybody hates America." The Turkish prime minister came out and said, "Everybody hates America." I showed y'all that. So she represents that aspect of America that nobody likes. She's living vicariously through a TV show, and she represents the one who sees everything for Esau. But not only that, the dynamic also is Friends has been shown to be a ripoff of Living Single, which was a Jake show in the 90s. See, there is no denying how similar Friends and Living Single are. So was Friends just a ripoff of Living Single? Well, there are certainly divided opinions on the matter, but there is no denying that there are a number of similarities between the two shows. I'm not gonna read all this for time's sake, but look, it's been clear that Living Single was a show with Latifah, Kim Fields, I forgot the two other Jake's names. There was some more other actresses in there. That came out first. Next thing you know, you got the prototype of that type of show. Friends takes it, and it just becomes a big hit because Esau in the media gets pushed right behind it. That again shows you white privilege. You understand? So she loves a show that it barely got any black people in it that stole from black people. And then she's saying, I ain't got no friends. I wonder why. And then you represent NASA. Okay, let's move on. You got the white man, the prepper, right? Second, he brings in this aspect. Second Ezra 15:18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So we've read them scriptures a number of times in 2nd Ezra 15 regarding the impending collapse, civil unrest, famine, pestilence, everything that's going to be happening during the times of tribulation here in modern day Egypt. Remember, the Jake pulled up. He's like, "Hey, man, it's me. We've been friends. Like, what? Why are you tripping on me like that?" All that is out the door. When it hits the fan, that's exactly what's being told. That a man's not gonna have pity on his neighbor. It doesn't matter how long he did work on his house and the whole nine. But you know what he did offer up? He said, "Hey, you know that house over there? My buddy worked on it. They got no license, no permit. They got the survival bunk over there. That's where you want to hit." See, so he told him, "Man, go spoil somebody else's house. You can't come here." Then when it even comes down to it, remember even in Ezekiel 7:19, talking about they're gonna throw their silver and the gold in the streets. He tried to offer him $1,000 for some medication. And he took the money. He said, well, cash pretty much ain't gonna be good right now. And they said, well, everything else is shut down electronically. What else are you gonna have? You're gonna have to utilize. Now he took the cash. He said eventually it's gonna come down to a barter system. He took the cash because what? The digital system was hacked and destroyed. So what else are you gonna have? Tangible things, gold, silver. Who knows? Maybe cash will still be decently available for a minute, but will it be of any value at that point? Who knows? But that's what we see there in that particular scene. So he's letting it be known where and what's going to be happening when things really hit the fan. All right. And you see, he was out there prepping. He seen the white woman looking at him. He looked at her like, mind your business. That's why I tell y'all, you get some stuff, whatever the case may be. If that's your thing, don't let everybody know what you got, because they coming for it. Uh, there's another scene when the Jake leaves to go help the Edomite boy with his teeth falling out. And the Jake vowed, "I'm gonna bring your son back." That's the same problem, man. The Jake was too worried about saving the white boy. He should have told them, "Man, y'all go. I'll give you the guy's address. Go figure it out, man. Me and my daughter staying here locked down in the house." He puts his life on the line to go save the little white kid, right? Okay. When he leaves, he tells his daughter for both of them to synchronize their watches for 1 hour. Remember that scene? He said, uh, "Put your clock for an hour. Set your timer for an hour. I'll be back." What happened within that hour? Revelation 18:10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, "Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come." Notice that when the alarm went off in that scene in the forest, and the girl Ruth looked out, and what she see? Bombs dropping, hitting New York at the end of the hour. See, Most High said, man, in the hour, judgment is going to come. Revelation 11:13 says, "And in the same hour was there a great earthquake." Earthquake being from the bombs, earthquake being literal seismic earthquakes happening. "And the tenth part of the city fell, and the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power of heaven." So we're seeing here, okay, in the same hour there was a great earthquake, and the tenth part of the city fell. 7,000. So a complete number of men is going to die during that time, and that's what they witnessed during that particular scene, right? Um, there was one other scripture too, man, about the girl. Uh, and we heard that NASA shirt on. Sirach 39:19 says, "The works of all flesh are before him, and nothing can be hid from his eyes." That's the Most High, but here she is trying to act like she's the Most High. That's just showing where that whole scene came from, right? But let's continue now. Even before we get to I want to talk about one more scene. The scene where they was in the barn, and it was Ruth and Amanda is the white woman's name, and they going at it back and forth. They yelling, right? And the sister says, "You don't care," and she said, "Why are you like this? You're always you're so angry and this, that, and the third, right?" And what was she telling? I don't know why. All I do is lie to people and try to make it seem like everything's gonna be all right. See, even the so-called white man, he don't know. Proverbs 16:4 says, "The Most High Yahweh hath made all things for Himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil." That's inherently their role in the earth. They don't have a choice. All they can do is scratch their head and say, "Why am I like this? Why am I like this? I don't know." Right? Continuing on. It says, "You don't care. Why are you like this?" I had to write this down. White woman says, "Every day my job is to study people well enough to lie to them and sell them things they don't want. We F every living thing on this planet." She said, in other words, she said, "We F up every living thing in this planet and think it'll be fine because they use paper straws and buy free range chicken." See, that's the white guilt, man. It plays out on them. Well, they feel as though they can cover their tracks by saving the environment, you know, by going out to a Black Lives Matter rally, by sitting on a freeway for Palestine and Israel, that everything's just going to be fine. She said the sick thing is deep down they know they're not fooling anyone, living a lie agreed upon, mass delusion. So that's the mind state of our enemy. But where do we see that at? Second Thessalonians. Second Thessalonians, right? Verse 3, it says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first." Well, no man's going to deceive us. The falling away was the children of Israel falling away to the curses. "And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." So now the revealing of who the son of perdition is, the one who's against all righteousness, who's against all biblical principles, who's against the Most High, who's against the children of the Lord, will finally be revealed. She confessed it in the end of the movie. She said, "Hey, I don't know why I'm like this. I lie to people for a living. I'm studying people. I hate people. I think that I can cover my sins by, using paper straws and saving the turtles and getting free range chicken. And little do you know, there's a secret pact amongst all of us that we think that it's fine, and we're all under mass delusion." Consider verse 4. It says, "Who opposeth uh, and exalted himself above all that is called the Alahayim, or the power, or that is worship, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High." So here we see here that the Most High is acknowledged. He's the so-called white man coming out saying that he wants to sit in the temple as he is the Most High, showing himself that he's the Most High. Now, continuing on, it says what? "Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way." So this is what we're seeing here. The mystery of iniquity has been revealed. Sin, unrighteousness, and wickedness that's been imparted via the so-called white man. He's sitting in the throne. We've just got to read in Isaiah 14. He feels that he is the Most High. But let's read down. Verse 8, it says, "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth." He's going to confess and talk about himself, "and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders." So through the technology, through the influence, the mass hypnosis that they got everybody under, when it comes down to media influences or whatnot, societal control, social experimentation, all of those things, signs and lying wonders. Reading on, it says, "And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved." That's for all those who want to follow along, the 2/3. Bending over backwards trying to save them, and they ain't give a damn about you. Verse 11, it says, "And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie." So we see those things even breaking down through biblical principles. She said that they destroy all the earth, right? She said, we destroy every living thing on the earth. Revelation 11:18 says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." And not too long after that, you see the bombs drop after that scene, right? So we're seeing the rewards that's going to come to the saints and the prophets, everyone that fears the name of the Most High, that small, great, no matter what your role is in serving the nation. The Lord said we're going to all have a time that we're going to be exalted. And the destruction is going to come to them that destroy the earth. You also remember that the white man said, they said, oh, it's the Koreans. I'm going to tell you, it's the Koreans, right? Then they said, well, no, we heard it's the Arabs. They don't know who or where it's going to come from. Revelation 17:16 says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore." See, all the nations that were confederate with the so-called white man, as it says in Obadiah, they're going to turn on him. They're going to turn on him. And now he won't know where it's coming from. Psalms 83 tells us about all the nations that's confederate. Obadiah tells us all the confederacy is going to turn on him. Revelation says they're all going to hate the whore. They don't know where the bombs are going to come from. The hack could come from China. The bombs could come from Iran. They don't know. That's how bad off America is right now. It says it's going to make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. You understand? So that's part of that scene too. I forgot to bring that out. Now, let me get to this point. Truth is stranger than fiction, y'all. So as I'm adding on to this, you see here, and notice, and also in that scene, she said they like they want to help. Well, she said they always ignore. They keep ignoring how awful they really are. But as soon as the Israelites talk about it, oh, we're racist, we're a separatist group, we're black extremists, so forth and so on. They self-confess in the movies, and all of a sudden it's heralded as a classic or whatever, right? So look at this. This came out on the 15th. FDNY, the fire department of New York, races to rescue New Yorkers trapped in dark elevators as the Big Apple in New Jersey is plunged into chaos by sudden mass power outage sparked by an explosion at Con Edison plant. What did Ruth keep talking about in the movie? Now we're talking reality now. Now we're talking about what's really going on. This is current event time now. Now the DSTM part of current events is in effect. We're seeing right now, is this art imitating life? Is this reality? What are they talking about? Are they confessing, as we read in Psalm 64, telling you what they're going to do, what's going to happen? Look, these things aren't coincidental. In 2017, when Fauci and them was talking about there's going to be a pandemic that's coming in, a plague that's going to be coming. Trump said it. All of them is talking about it. Bill Gates. And then next thing you know, 2019, here it is. Lockdowns, everything else. Are they telling you ahead of time just so that everybody can sit back and be locked into TikTok and Instagram and whatever else, zoned out and don't even understand what the hell's going on? They're telling you all off the top. Hey, I told them. They didn't listen. Oh, well. So in the movie, she keeps talking about power plants. Does power plant get hit? What about the power plant? What? Remember the white woman said, "Why are you so obsessed with power plants? What do you keep talking about?" I got that one, Bayan. It's coming. I got that one. Um, Remember in the movie, they couldn't get back to the house because the dude was on. They lived on the 14th floor. He couldn't walk up them stairs. Why? Because the elevators wasn't working. Hint, 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 hint. And what city were they in? New York. Okay, play if you want to. Look at it. Chinese affiliated hacking groups. Chinese affiliated hacking groups infiltrated critical American infrastructure, including Hawaii water utility and at least one oil and gas pipeline, U.S. officials say. So, how long have we been talking about? I was talking about cyber attacks since 2021 when we talked about the cyber polygon and the World Economic Forum talking about they need to conduct various cyber attacks to see how good the infrastructure will hold up in the event of a quote unquote cyber attack. And all throughout DSTM, I'm constantly showing all different type of areas where cyber attacks was taking place. 2 weeks before the movie, I was telling everybody cyber attack, cyber attack. Y'all seen and heard it? I said in 2024 they was talking about something coming down the pipeline, maybe by the summer. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But as the scriptures say, man, I'm looking in the house of the wicked. I'm trying to figure out what's he doing, what's he talking about. So here they are dropping hints about they're constantly talking about spy balloons over here. Oh, North Korea's got the satellites honed in on the White House. Oh, Russia hacking groups, they hacked the election. They always keep telling you about hack, hack, hack. Get ready. Banking collapses coming down the pipeline. Everybody got their securities locked up in the digital assets and funds could be wiped away. And the only way you can come on back into the fold is you're gonna have to get this world ID. You're gonna have to abide by the new beast system that's gonna be lined up. That comes with all kind of nice little gadgets and things that you can attach to yourself, if you know what I mean. Chinese affiliated hacking groups infiltrated critical American infrastructure, including Hawaii water utility and at least one oil and gas pipeline, officials say. Continuing on, look at this. Tesla recalls nearly all vehicles. When's the last time you heard about something like that? Tesla recalls nearly all vehicles. What was all those cars that was got hacked and the systems was on autopilot, self-driving and crashing into each other straight off the lot? Tesla. Now this was 3 days ago. All this was this just this week. As the movie premiered last Thursday or Friday, all this comes out the following week. Tesla recalls nearly all vehicles sold in the US to fix a system that monitors drivers using autopilot. Oh, how interesting. So more than 2 million vehicles got recalled because autopilot is tripping. Coincidence? I think not. Warren Buffett selling 28.7 billion in stock rings alarm bell over the economy. What did the brother say in the movie? He's rubbing elbows with the elite. He's got high power clients. Can't say the name, but if I said it, you'll know who it is. White woman says, "Is it an entertainer?" He said, "No, no, no. Talking politics, defense contracts, so forth and so on." Well, this is Obama speaking now. This is some of his notes. That he's in the midst of these cats, man, and they telling him, "Oh, we're getting ready to get up out of here. Wish we could take you along, but you a nigga. We can't take you with us. But good luck. Prepare as best you can." And he said, "Man, my client told me move some funds around, right? Because he knew something was going down." He's sitting back observing and seeing all these things and everything lining up. And he said, "What? When the market crashes, when it's issues going on in the market, that's when you start taking notes." So Warren Buffett, the godfather of the stock market, over the last year, he's been selling off $28.7 billion in stock. Is that a coincidence that they bring that out in the movie as well? That there's some um, shadowy figure that's got heavy investments in the stock market, and he sells off $28.7 billion, which end up leading into a collapse. I don't know. I'm not gonna read the article, but you can check it out for yourself. See what they say in the end. After all these things, A coup d'etat, civil war. I seen this trailer a few days ago, and that's the next movie that's coming out in the spring. Civil War. They're talking about all these things just happenstance. I mean, these things just coming out for no reason. What happened when the DVOG 91 thing was kicking in? What was everybody vegetating on at home, locked down? All of a sudden, all these dang movies about plagues and everything else started trending on Netflix, started trending on Amazon. They had all these movies ready to go, some ahead of time. And now here we see it, Civil War. Well, Second Ezra 15 tells us it's going to be civil war. Christ tells us in Matthew 24 there's going to be civil war. You understand? The film takes place in a near future in which the United States once again faces civil war. This time, the Western forces, rather than the Confederate South, have seceded from the Union. I think they said it's Texas, California, and a couple other countries. I mean, states seceded and break off from the U.S., become independent uh, states or unions on their own, and they're fighting against America, the rest of America. 19 states have broken off from the USA, including Texas and California. Strange bedfellows that remind us now this is indeed fiction. This also raises some questions. Why did these states band together to break apart from the Union? Who are the bad guys? Or perhaps there aren't bad guys, just different sides. So y'all can check that out if you haven't already on Netflix. But that's the next one coming down the pipeline. It's supposed to be coming out in the spring, in April, right? Right around the Passover time. Speaking of that, Lord willing, we'll have the new calendar coming out next year, within the next month or so. But look for that. Now, so that's my give or take. That's my 2 cents regarding my reaction to the movie. Compare and contrast your own notes, man. Maybe I brought something to the table that can help your vision when you watch it again, and look through it through those lenses, man. It's all spiritual. It's all spiritual. Let's catch up with the rest of the world and its events. Hold on, something's going on with this slide. I don't know why this thing is it's a little overlapping. We'll figure it out, y'all. So let's look at it from right here. I'll read. I'm gonna fix it as we go along. But not much going on outside of what we've all pretty much watched and witnessed going down in Israel and Palestine. So it says Hamas threatens violence against Americans everywhere in a chilling new video. Hamas is putting out propaganda videos saying, all Americans at risk. Terror attacks could be hidden anywhere from the UK to the USA. Is it possible? Maybe. Could it be the stage being set for false flags? Absolutely. We got to see, you know. But let's look at what he says here. Hamas has threatened violence against Americans everywhere in their latest horrifying statement. Speaking on memory, senior official for Hamas, Sami Abu Zuri, called for acts of violence against the USA, and also the UK. Zuri's comments come as tensions over the Israel-Hamas war intensify, with pressure growing on Israel to stop the fighting. Let's look what he says here. He says, now it's our nation's turn to pressure the Americans to stop this war. We need violent acts against American and British interests everywhere, as well as the interests of all the countries that support the occupation. They must pay a price for the blood of our women and children who are being killed in cold blood on the streets of Gaza. They must pay a price so that they know that Gaza is not alone, and that when they gave the order to kill, they should have been prepared to pay the necessary price. So Hamas is out there making threats. They're saying all Americans and British be prepared, whether they carry it out or whether it's a false flag to initiate greater escalation of war between getting America more greatly involved. We'll see. But definitely something ain't right. Gaza families are begged for bread and eating donkey meat as aid deliveries falter. Well, look what they're being reduced to. Where's the UN when you need them, huh? Where's the WHO and everybody else who's supposed to be freedom fighters for humanity in all these humanitarian efforts? That ain't they don't give a dang about these Arabs over there. People in Gaza described begging for bread, paying 50 times more than usual for a single can of beans, and slaughtering a donkey to feed a family as food. Aid trucks were unable to reach most parts of the bombarded Palestinian territory. Now, this also was something to take note of. Anytime the Most High puts things ahead of us, don't think that America can't be subjected to the same things and won't be subjected to the same things when all hell breaks loose here. Because it will. America is bound for judgment. All the things that we've been reading about, everything we just talked about, the whole film was all based upon um, a judgment of America, right? So when war-torn areas hit, notice it said they're paying 50 times more than the usual for a single can of beans. Well, isn't that one of the seals in Revelation 6? It said a measure of wheat for a penny. See, these are the things that is going to be happening. Mass famine is going to be hitting. And it said because the aid deliveries they're not being allowed through. They can't get through. Israel was pounding the length of the Gaza Strip in pursuit of a goal of destroying Hamas. The conflict making it almost impossible for aid convoys to move around and reach people going hungry. They know what they're doing, right? They know exactly what they're doing. Look at this. The IDF accidentally. Israel, huh? Killing their own. And if they didn't get busted, they would say, oh, the Palestinians is the ones who killed these hostages. No, 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 no. See, they're out here doing all this stuff, man, and they never get condemned. They never get condemned. Because as soon as you say something, you're anti-S word. And you know what I'm talking about. They've got it locked down. The whole paradigm is completely shifted towards their favor. And if you don't like it, oh, be prepared to get all hell broke loose on you. So the IDF accidentally shoots and kills 3 Israelis held hostage in Gaza. So they're trigger happy. They're going wild, shooting up, bang, bang, everything, shooting their own, and say, oops, it was an accident. And then, of course, they're the type that'll flip the script and say, well, it wouldn't have happened if they didn't have them. It's not our fault. It's the Palestinians' fault. If they didn't have them hostage, we wouldn't have had to kill them. Israeli soldiers shot and killed 3 Israeli hostages in northern Gaza after misidentifying them as threats. The Israel Defense Forces said during combat in Shajaya, the IDF mistakenly identified 3 Israeli hostages as a threat. As a result, the troops fired toward them and that they were killed. IDF spokesman Daniel Hagari said in a news briefing on Friday. During searches and checks in the area in which the incident occurred, a suspicion arose over the identities of the deceased. Hagari added, their bodies were transferred to Israeli territory for examination, after which it was confirmed that they were the 3 Israeli hostages. So the same ones that they're trying to save, they out here shooting up, right? Which soldiers, Rosemary? The Israeli soldiers or the Hamas soldiers? Let's continue on. Israel used U.S. supplied white phosphorus in Lebanon attack. So now they playing even more dirty. See, but you can't tell them that they're out of pocket. You can't tell them that they're out here breaking international law. You can't tell them that they're breaking international humanitarian law. Or else. Israel used US supplied. Look at the connection. U.S. supplied white phosphorus munitions in an October attack in southern Lebanon that injured at least 9 civilians in what a rights group says should be investigated as a war crime, according to a Washington Post analysis of shell fragments found in a small village. Well, Far be it from America using what was it called, Agent Orange on the Vietnamese. Far be it from them to use something that would be a chemical agent to go against their enemies, as the indigenous populations, as a so-called black man. Chemical warfare is his specialty. Let's look at WebMD. What's white phosphorus? It's a chemical, so we're talking a chemical attack made from phosphate rocks in solid form. It has a waxy texture and a garlic-like odor. It may be white or yellow in color or clear. White phosphorus is extremely toxic to humans. It can also be quite unstable. In some forms, it catches fire at just 10 to 15 degrees above room temperature in reaction to oxygen. Watch this. How do white phosphorus bombs work? White phosphorus bombs are incendiary weapons. That means that along with their destructive power, they spread fire. In this case, the fire is made from burning phosphorus, which burns about 1500 degrees Fahrenheit. White phosphorus bombs can spread this fire over an area of up to several hundred square yards, and the phosphorus continues to burn until it is all gone. All it requires is the presence of oxygen, which is in the air. So here they are using chemical bombs that's not only toxic to humans, it explodes, and then after it explodes, the air continues to allow it to burn and spread, taking out everything in its paths. That's a war crime. And the US gave it to them and said, here, try this. White phosphorus bombs can cause injuries that are more serious and harder to treat. See, that's another thing. Harder to treat than injuries from conventional bombs. Medical professionals need special training to deal with these types of injuries and to protect themselves from phosphorus burns during treatment. So these things are highly lethal. You have to have special training to deal with anybody who's gotten affected by these bombs. And if you don't got nobody who got the special training, you can forget about it. And they're over there using this. But mum's the word. No, nobody's saying anything about them and their evils. You know, they're too busy worried about Kanye saying that how's he anti-Semite because he slept with a white woman or slept with a Jewish woman. Or they're worried about him wearing a black hood performing in Miami or wherever the hell he was. Uh, Can we focus on really what are they up to? Does he have a point? Is there anything that he could say that could lead somebody to say, hey, you know what? Maybe those people just really aren't as much victims as they claim to be. Maybe they aren't just these old innocent little, humpback people who didn't. Everybody just hates on with big hook noses. Let me be nice. Let me be nice, because the algorithm is gonna shut me down for speaking too much about it. Right. But here they are using white phosphorus bomb, chemical bombs, man, and they have to beg to get somebody to investigate what's going on. That's in Lebanon. We just got to seeing that the Palestinians are eating donkey meat and paying 50 times the price for basic goods. But look at this: Israeli army vows to crack down on behavior of soldiers after viral videos show them setting fire to Gaza food supplies and chanting racist songs. Oh, should the dumbed down Negro and Hispanic who's running around talking about how they stand with Israel, you want to reconsider seeing what they got going on over there? The dumbed down Hispanic Negro over here talking about how they stand with Palestine. You want to do a little bit more history about the transatlantic slave trade. Maybe you might want to investigate a little bit about the sub-Saharan slave trade. Maybe you want to see about why the doctrine of Islam is false and you have no business praising Allah. Maybe you should get out of all of them and get back to your roots, the scriptures. Want to know why they're starving over there? Well, look what's going on. Hey, but is America and anybody else going to step up and say, hey, you know what? You guys are out of control. We're shutting all this down. We're bombing the hell out of it. They ain't going to do that. See, They're setting fire, cracking down on videos. They're setting themselves, showing themselves on video, destroying supplies, chanting racist songs. But this is who's the terrorist again? I mean, you could talk October 7th all day, but who's really carrying out more terrorist acts now since then? They're shooting their own people. They're bombing encampments with civilians. They're raiding supplies, chanting racist songs. But hey, those are the good guys. Those are good guys. Believe that if you want to. German Bundeswehr Inspector General warns of a potential defensive war against Russia. This is going along with the narrative that now that it's pretty clear that Ukraine has lost the war with Russia, even though Zelensky came over here and did something strange for some change and got $200 million from slow Biden that he just pulled out his cheeks, and I ain't talking about the ones on your face. Got another $200 million. How that happened, who knows? You know, I said I was gonna show it real quick. Um, Let me see if I can find it. Look at this guy. Maybe I. That's the president. This is the guy who's over here panhandling, getting everybody to send him money. He's the big freedom fighter. He's the one who's standing up against the bear. Russia. He's a comedian by trade. Now the president. But look what he's up to. All right, that's enough. That's enough, man. Before I throw up. But y'all see what he's up to, man. This who they telling you you supposed to be out there supporting. How many times our people running around with blue and yellow flags when the war first cracked off, and everybody talking about you got to stand with Ukraine? This guy's running around with stiletto heels on and leather pants and bustiers on. I mean, come on, man. Nah, that ain't no AI, bro. He did some other. There's a bunch of videos on it. He was a comedian, so-called comedian, man. So he was doing all that in the name of quote unquote comedy. But this is what he's up to, man. But now that they realize that the war in Ukraine and Russia is pretty much one-sided, now remember the shift is towards NATO. So you're hearing Poland talking about, oh, we got to shore up our defenses because Russia's coming for us next. The UK talking about it coming next. The next scale war is talking about NATO against Russia. That in itself is World War III worthy. All right. Even though we've seen some of the instances that could lead up to World War III, we've seen the involvement of America and NATO forces fighting against Russia on small levels. They haven't got to the point to where it's got fully blown and fully declared. China, Taiwan, all of these things is all on the table. Now NATO is trying to push towards getting the next act of war jumping off with Russia. They used Ukraine, didn't work. Now they're moving on to Russia and NATO. Okay. So now Germany's came out saying it, Poland came out saying it. All these NATO aligned countries are going to say, we feel threatened. We feel threatened. Russia's coming for us next. That's what's going to set off the next world war if all plays out accordingly. So they're already telling us NATO, Russia is next. Turkish lawmaker dies 2 days after collapsing while giving a fiery speech saying Israel will suffer the wrath of Allah for invading Gaza. Another died suddenly. Hassan Bitmez. Um, I seen the video. Very interesting. He was fired up. He talking. Next to you know, boom, he collapsed. Was he poisoned? Did he get poked in his arm? We don't know. It's just very interesting that shortly after he talked about Israel suffering the wrath of Allah, he gets put to death. Which number one will show you that Allah ain't no damn God and ain't nobody to be trying to exalt because there ain't no power in Allah, obviously. Now we know you. I know the Muslims out there. Hey, hey, don't disrespect our God. Okay, Allah is a Hebrew word meaning power. So you got it from there. I understand that dynamic, but that is not the name of the Most High. He dies 2 days after. And notice Turkey has been came out saying that they were separating themselves from the EU. They've made a stand saying that they stand with Palestine. They've came out and said that they're anti-America. Uh, and all of a sudden now you've got a lawmaker dying in public. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's move on to what's happening over here in the States. Court ruling allows state to seize citizens for indefinite quarantine and isolation. This is in out of New York. Some of these things I got to take my time with. See, I'll be bringing out so much stuff. Certain things need a little bit more attention than others. And I'm disciplining myself. I got to learn. Slow down, IQ. Make sure that you cover this. Make sure it's understood. 'Cause I know sometimes I'll be putting stuff out. And then somebody might send me an article later or send me a video, and I'm like, oh, I covered that a while back, or yeah, we talked about that 2 weeks ago. Some things, some people may not tune in long enough, or you might miss it, or you might go over your head. These are things that you do not want to go over your head. Understand this. This came through the courts in New York. The court ruling allows state to seize. That means to capture, to take citizens for indefinite quarantine and isolation. As we just got to seeing, how many times we talked about in DSTM? Oh, they've got the new the new Marburg strain. Oh, they've got I forgot what they're calling this new uh strand of the C word. You know what I'm talking about. You've got the white lung going on. Whooping cough is back. They've got a plethora of different plagues circulating right now. They're talking about how this is going to be one of the another quote unquote severe winter, right? And here they are already talking about indefinite quarantine and isolation backed by the courts. New York State Appeals Court upheld a ruling allowing state officials to detain individuals for public safety reasons despite concerns about due process violations. So, no judge, no jury, no trial, no rights, nothing. If they deem you a threat to public safety, in New York, they are proposing and they already have a ruling that is allowing indefinite quarantine and isolation. This paves the way for the quote unquote FEMA camps, for the clergy response teams, for the churches that are operatives of the government to tell you everybody you need to go to the camps, go to isolation, make sure you stay home. It's of God. Indefinitely, meaning there's no end, no defined end of that. Continuing on, the ruling pertains to a state health department rule 2.13, which was challenged by Republican lawmakers and a conservative group. The court's decision was based on the challengers lacking quote standing in the case, trending, chilling surveillance. Forget about that. The ruling has sparked criticism and concerns about government overreach and erosion. Hello, of citizens' rights. So when we're reading about things like there's going to be a famine in the land, not of bread or water, and speaking about in Amos the 8th chapter, not of bread and water, but of hearing the word of the Most High. right? We hearing about things like that, then we're to know. Citizens' rights, your ability to speak, your ability to turn down, not getting, treated when said thing comes out, you know, they're already building the platforms to erase your rights, my rights, so forth and so on, right? Making us helpless. The case is said to be appealed to the New York Court of Appeals. Involuntary detention is a severe deprivation of individual liberty, far more egregious than other health safety measures, such as requiring a mask wearing at certain venues. Justice Ronald Poletz wrote. Now, let me get a scripture for that. Second of the 16. Let's go down now. Let's get down to let's read. Let's read. Um, let's read up. Let's read verse 67. It says, "Behold, the Most High Himself is the judge. Fear Him. Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble." So when we're talking about things such as Jacob's trouble, these are the type of things that are going to be happening. Things that we read above in earlier verses and things we're going to read below. But what do we read in verse 67? How do we find ourselves excluded in favor of the Most High? Is number one, leave off from your sins, forget your iniquities, and don't meddle with them forever. Then the Most High can lead us forth and deliver us from all trouble. This is why, the teaching that, all Israelite camps, most, I ain't gonna say all, majority of camps teaches regarding the keeping the laws and repenting is primary, because that's the only way that we're going to be delivered from said destruction and said afflictions. Leaving off from sins and forgetting your iniquities. Church is telling you to sin, you can't keep the laws. The laws are done away with. We're under the new covenant, so forth and so on. They are setting everybody up that's following them for sure doom and destruction. And they think because they got their pastors operating under the clergy response teams, co-opting with the government, that they're going to be saved. They're going to be saved from the pending judgments. They're the first ones that are going to be set up. Those are the ones you call a Judas goat. Look that up, Judas goat. And there's a lot of them out there, even within the Israelite community. Nobody's excluded. Verse 68, it says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols." See, there's going to be a seizing of people, and they're going to take us and feed us, being idle, meaning what? Meaning that they were not active and rooted in the laws and the commandments. And they said they're going to be giving things offered to idols. They're going to be forced defilement. No different than what was happening during the time of the Maccabees, which is what we're coming off of with the Feast of Dedication. Luke 21 tells us, Yahweh Shai tells us about betrayal. Your kinsfolks and parents and everybody else is going to turn you into the judges to be detained and locked up. You understand? So that's that's what's going to be going down. New York is just setting the stage. Continuing on, it says, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot." See, there's no cooperating. There's no negotiating with the beast. See, they that consent unto them shall be had in derision. They're going to be completely lost, destroyed. And it says, and they reproach and trodden underfoot. They're going to be completely stomped out, taken advantage of, and tortured. Because they thinking, oh, if I go along with it, I'm gonna be spared. Y'all be the ones who's gonna be no. You consent unto them, man. They're gonna stab you so fast in the back, man. You're not even gonna know what hit you. Verse 70. "For there shall be in every place and in the next city a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then they shall be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. This is Jacob's trouble. This is things that we're going to have to see, go through, and endure through to be proven and shown that we're worthy of the Most High. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Just laying the groundwork, right? Everything always comes from the east, sets in the west, sun sets, rises in the east, sets in the west. We see a lot of things trickle down from New York, California, Chicago, and then it affects the rest of the country. If they can get New York on board and New York gets to passing, it's going to set the precedence for other states to do the same thing and impose involuntary detention, indefinite quarantine and isolation. That means they can take you, place you wherever they want to, no due process, and indefinitely be isolated, i.e., the camps. Okay, look at this.
Okay, well, there was some reporting overnight that
This is John Kirby pressed on the likelihood of mass evacuations of Americans if Israel-Hamas conflict spreads. Well, clearly it's spreading. It's not stopping. Now they're talking about, well, what's the likelihood that we might have to evacuate America because of our involvement in the war? What's he saying?
the U.S. is planning for mass evacuations of Americans if the war were to spread. Can you kind of give context of how likely you guys are viewing that scenario and whether this is very top level planning or if there's some sort of granular detail that you guys are going into on this effort?
I won't go into granular detail on operational planning one way or another, but it would be imprudent and irresponsible if we didn't have folks thinking through a broad range of contingencies and possibilities. And certainly evacuations are one of those things. I mean,
where are you going to evacuate to? Where are they planning on sending people? Warfare comes to the shores of America. They're saying, well, we have to prepare for evacuations. I'm not going to give you I'm not going to get you details about the intricacies of the plan, but yeah, we're considering everything. Where are you going to go? Where are they going to send everybody? Interesting.
There's not a place in the world where the Pentagon doesn't have contingency plans on the shelf. May need updating, but have them on the shelf to help with the evacuation of American citizens. And given what's going on in the Middle East right now, I think it's perfectly reasonable. I think
hold on. Did you miss that?
Right now, I think it's perfectly reasonable. Evacuation of American shelf may need updating, but have them on the shelf to help with
one more
world where
one more
evacuations are one of those things. I mean, there's not a place in the world where the Pentagon doesn't have contingency plans on the shelf. May need updating, but have them on the shelf to help with the evacuation of American citizens.
Now, did you hear that? He said there's not a place in the world that the Pentagon does not have prepared or lined up for the evacuations, quote unquote, evacuations of American citizens, if need be. He said they may need some updating, but we got it. So who runs the world again? Job 9:24. Another precept to add, another fact to add out of the mouth of John Kirby. He said there's not a place in the world that the gray whore does not have a lock-in for the contingency of an evacuation plan for all Americans. In other words, we got camps lined up. We might need to update them a little bit, but we got places we can send folks all throughout the world.
And given what's going on in the Middle East right now, I think it's perfectly reasonable. I think it would be imprudent and irresponsible if we weren't doing some kind of contingency thinking. But we're not at a point of execution right now, and there are still plenty of opportunities. For instance, even in Israel, for people to get out. We're still doing contract charter flights, and there's still commercial flights going in and out of Ben Gurion. And frankly, the demand signal for our contract charter flights hasn't been very high. They're still going, but they're not all filled.
See, he's speaking about the time when you have the opportunity to voluntarily get out. So, depending on who, where, why, your resources, whatever, There's no real escape, so to speak. However, if you got a passport, you're good. If you don't have one, you might want to invest in one before they change the rules, and you have to have a passport that qualifies based upon the system. Now, guaranteed they'll translate your existing passport into a digital form of your ID or whatnot. There's no question they're gonna have to synchronize it with the B system, but there might be a little less um, red tape, so to speak. No pun intended. Red tape to go through before they make this change for the world IDs.
And the same could be said for places like Lebanon. But each country is different, and the threats and challenges in each will change over time. And we're doing all the right prudent thinking that you would expect us to.
So Lebanon, same place you here with the white phosphorus. Okay. Let's continue on. So you see what's happening. Indefinite quarantine. Lawmaking has already been passed. They're trying to appeal it up there in New York. They're talking about mass evacuations if this war continues to escalate, doesn't stop. Uh, the writing is on the wall. Cyber attacks, so forth and so on, man. Y'all already know. Let me get up out of here. Why this thing ain't? All right, let me jump over here. Looking at New York again. MTA board approves NYC congestion pricing plan. What to know about tolls, exemptions, and more. This essentially is talking about the MTA, Metropolitan Transport Authority in New York, has proposed and is passed a fee basically for you to drive in the city or to go to work or whatever every day. Look, this goes into the plan for them to have 15-minute cities. Remember those? Consolidation of homes, everybody in one little cubby hole and one little project. You understand? This is going to frustrate people and have people be more acquiescent to the idea of, hey, everything is so close. All I got to do is scan the QR code. I can go here. I can go there. I can jump into the self-driving taxi. I don't need to drive anymore. Oh, good thing they banned the gas cars and so forth and so on. Right? So the MTA board approves NYC congestion pricing planning, what to know about the tolls, exemptions, and more. Passenger vehicles will be charged $15. Trucks will be charged anywhere from $24 to $36, depending on size, and motorcycles will be charged $7.50. That's per day, y'all, not a month. Per day. The prospect of congestion pricing coming to New York City just got a lot more real as the Metropolitan Transportation Authority board overwhelmingly voted to approve the measure. It says will contribute to millions of dollars for the city's aging transit system and cut down on traffic by charging drivers to enter a large swath of Manhattan. So if you work in Manhattan, you got to drive through there and there's traffic galore and all that, they're going to charge you for contributing to the traffic. So if you work there, you've got business there, whatever the case may be, you're going to get charged on the daily. And starting in the spring, $15 a day if you drive your car, $24 to $36 for your car. So let's say you got some worker, you got some you're an exterminator, a plumber, engineer, whatever, you're working on this building, you're driving the company truck. Okay, the company's gonna pay for it, but the consumer, the customer, you're going to pay for it in the end because they got to raise the prices on them things, taxes, everything else. So the cost of living will go up in New York based upon this, just based upon services that need to go in and out of Manhattan. And then they talking about, oh, well, we got to figure out how we're going to make sure everybody pays because just like here in California, you drive on the expressway, and you got to pay the little fast track toll booth. You know, you either pay for it and you get your little sensor ahead of time, or people just drive and then they end up paying a little fine after the fact. They do the same thing in New York because they got tolls all throughout New York, but sometimes people don't pay them. They just be dipping, and you just got to catch them. You know, the police catch you. You got outstanding tolls to pay. Who knows if it's a ticket? I don't know if they arrest you. I don't know what the penalty is, but they're concerned with what's the name. But they said it's only like 5% of the people don't pay their tolls. So 95% of people are guaranteed going to be paying these fines or these fees, I should say. They damn there are fines just for you having to live and work or do whatever you need to do. You're going to have to pay this per day. Per day. Speaking about the plagues going on, bugbear Brits told to elbow bump family members this Christmas as 100-day cough that can crack ribs and cause seizures run rife. So there they are over there in the UK. They're talking about get back to elbow bumping. Remember they didn't want you. What happened with the vid? Oh, don't shake hands. Don't touch 6 feet. Oh, if you do got to see, everybody was doing the little elbow bumps and all that. Now they're saying bring that back. Why? Because they've got whooping cough. Whooping cough is back over there. Okay. So they got whooping cough. They got all these other little plagues, white lung, and everything else going on right now. Talking about involuntary quarantining and everything else. I mean, they're laying down the groundwork for what could be a very interesting 2024. Meta's new face camera heralds a new age of surveillance. Meta, quote unquote, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg is co-opted with Ray-Ban now, and Ray-Ban, they got glasses now with the cameras on them. So now they're stylish and they're utilizing it as surveillance. People being able to take videos and pictures of you, and you don't even know. You understand? There's the spy state, surveillance state, the tattletale state. That's what they're doing in China right now. When you're dealing with the social credit score, tattling on your neighbors, all those things. This is all part of the plan. For the past 2 weeks, I've been using a new camera to secretly snap photos and record videos of strangers in parks, trains, inside stores, and at restaurants. They saying I promise it's all in the name of journalism. I wasn't hiding the camera, but it was wearing it. No one noticed. I was testing the recently released $300 Ray-Ban Meta glasses that Mark Zuckerberg, social networking empire made in collaboration with the iconic eyewear maker. So the new surveillance Ray-Ban glasses with embedded camera and is on deck right now, right? That's a whole nother frame of surveillance. It already let you know they already got it going on, man. You talking about James Bond type stuff? It's here. It's already here. Yeah. You talking about south of the border, Parai. South of the border, yep. A couple more. Now scientists are saying breathing is bad for the environment. Gases we exhale contribute to 0.1% of the UK's greenhouse gas emissions. I said it a while back. I'm sure y'all may have even known when they talking about reducing carbon. I think it's estimated between 9 and 12% of the human body is made of carbon. I've seen estimates of more. I've seen more in favor of 12%, which iconically or ironically is linked to the 12 tribes, right? One of the 12 things, you got 12 cranial nerves, you got 12 hours in a day, all that stuff. Everything surrounding around 12, right? Not to get too deep into the numerology because we can go there. But now we see what's happening. The elites are acknowledging that, hey, humans, actually, you're the problem. You're just by you breathing, you're destroying the environment. Maybe you should be eliminated to save the earth. I mean, we already got to cut down on the farmers. The cows are farting too much, and destroying the gas emissions and the environment and this, that, and the third. Now they're openly saying you breathing, me breathing is a danger to the environment. They got to do something about it. No wonder they had this whole thing the last 2.5, 3 years, and we're starting to see the results of people dropping dead suddenly. You understand what I'm saying? We know about population control. Bill Gates is a heavy component of it, a heavy endorser of it. Now they're openly saying you breathing, me breathing is a problem. He created his own. Listen to the reasoning of the so-called white man. He created his own death. Lawyers argue black man Manny Ellis was at fault when he died after 3 police officers used excessive force, including choking, shocking, and holding him face down. Christopher Burbank, top right, and Matthew Collins, I had to crop this out, but it says are accused, the 2 white cops, are accused of second-degree murder in the death of Manuel Ellis. Tim Rankine, to the right, is charged with first-degree manslaughter. They're going to blame him. They said it was his fault. He shouldn't have been doing what he was doing. I mean, this is the arrogancy of the so-called white man. There's a laundry list of men and women, Black, Hispanic, Native American, have been dead at the hands of the police, man. And in their minds, it's your fault. The arrogancy. A quarter of the world's fresh fish water are at risk of extinction. See, the scriptures even talk about that in Revelation 8, talk about the fish dying. I believe it's Revelation 8. Hosea 4 and 3, we read that one last week about the fish dying in the sea. Remember that all them fish died over there in Japan? Matter of fact, Elder Aladai, he just reminded me about the Fukushima release in Japan. The Fukushima release of that radioactive water into the waters, and next thing you know, all those mackerel and sardines washed up along the shoreline, multi-millions of them. And they had to tell them Japanese people, man, stop trying to pick them up and eat them and selling them, because they didn't know them things is toxic. Now we're seeing an even greater risk to freshwater fish being at risk of extinction. I mean, when are we reading the headlines like this anymore? Right? It's talking about 1/5 of the world's population of fresh fish, man, could be gone in the very near future. Meanwhile, after school Satan clubs are gaining popularity amid legal victories. So when we talk about the USA being under Satan's authority and them gearing up the next quote unquote generation to follow suit, it's already here. They got the Baphomet statues all lined up. Matter of fact, they just put one up in the White House. Talking about quote unquote religious expression. Oh, they got the menorah, the fake menorah with 9 candlesticks outside. They got the Christmas tree in there, and then they got the little Baphomet statue in there. Did y'all see that? Before we close out, let me see if I can find that one. Come on, man. Was it in the White House? Hold on. Oh no, it was in Iowa State. There you go. Satanic Temple in the State House of Iowa. That's in Iowa. They got all the candles. They got the whole shrine lined up for Satan. If you look closer on the circle on the chest, you see the pentagram on there. I mean, America's pretty much acknowledging their allegiances to Satan, man. You know, when we read in Revelation 13, tell you that the dragon gave the beast his power. The dragon was known as Satan in Revelation 12. is only acknowledging that America is being ran, authorized, and powered by Satan. And now it's being filtered into the schools. Satan clubs, all out there right now, man. When we talked about it earlier, man, the son of perdition being revealed, man, look no further. Look no further, right? We're here, right here in the belly of the beast, man, fighting for our liberation, fighting for our freedom, man, fighting for the enlightenment of our people to wake up, fearing the Most High, keeping the commandments, man, and to awaken who we are, man. We got to wake up that sleeping giant known as Israel, right? All 12 tribes, man. We got to get that in order ASAP. ASAP. All right. So I'm gonna close out there, man. Hopefully everybody got some edification today. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High while y'all outside, man. Praying everybody has a blessed Shabbat. Messengers of the Covenant. We're gonna have our closing Sabbath class in a couple hours. Lord willing, you'll be able to catch it live, if not on the back end. We encourage you to, lock in live, man. Now's the time, man. Scriptures even tell us that. Let's jump back over here real quick. I'm gonna give you one more in Romans 13. Romans 13. Let's read that in verse 11. Romans 13 and 11. And that reads, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. No better time than the present, y'all. No better time than the present, man. So prayerfully, everybody has a blessed rest of your day and Shabbat. And Lord willing, we'll see you in a little while. Other than that, man, you already know. Fear the Most High, keep the commandments. Don't shoot your messenger. I'm out.